Good morning, everyone. I'm Leah Dixon from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, and I am here on a Wednesday morning for my regular Facebook Live. Today, I'm going to be creating with the Sweet Conversations bundle. So I'm going to switch over to my desktop so you can see that, and we will get started. So here is the bundle. What we have is a stamp set that has some really cute little outline pieces, as well as, the outline pieces, as well as the pieces that color in, and then a whole bunch of like little decorative parts and some nice sentiments. And it pairs up with this awesome die set that has the right dies to cut out the different hearts, but then a whole bunch of different ways to cut out heart chains, individual hearts, to create like a nice pattern of hearts where you can use the like the reverse image and some fun little tags and banners and the cutest little envelope that we're actually going to use today on our card. So I can see a few of you are popping on. If you want to say hi in the comments. If it's your first time commenting, I am using StreamYard, so you'll have to let StreamYard know who you are. You only need to do it once, and then it's kind of set for life. Yeah, do that. Otherwise, your comment comes up as anonymous. And we're going to get started. So the card today that I'm creating is actually more of like, not a Valentine's card, but like a friend card. And I thought it was perfect because right now with restrictions and stuff coming back in, we're not seeing our friends as much. And so I thought it was just a nice way to reach out and say hi to some friends with Valentine's Day and February just around the corner. So I am going to be using some polished pink ink and the largest heart stamp in our set. I'm just going to ink that up and stamp that right onto just a scrap piece of paper. I don't need a big piece because we're going to be die cutting this. And then I am going to grab my Versamark and we're going to stamp right over top of this. Now, you either want to let this dry for quite some time or use like a dryer sheet or something to go over it, and just make sure that that pink ink, that polished pink ink, is super dry before you do this next step, because otherwise you're going to have your embossing powder sticking to the whole heart, which you don't want. Now I'm going to grab, I've got the one that says text me, and I'm going to stamp that right over top of my polished pink heart using my Versamark. Then I've got my white embossing powder, and I just keep mine in a tray so I can use it quickly and easily. Tap that off, and now we will heat that up with our heat tool. There we go. So when you're doing this, if you're going to do the white embossing powder, it's really important that you do use a darker ink like the polished pink. If you're using a lighter ink, the image is going to be so light that it will actually be really hard to see the text on there. All right, now I will grab my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and we're going to run this through using plate 3 and 2 plate 2s. And I'll just pop that on there. There we go. And roll that one through. All right. Oops. So with that one cut out, we can set that off to the side, and we'll use that one in a little bit while I still have my Stampin' Cut and Emboss plates and everything here. I'm also going to run through the envelope. So I'm choosing to make my envelope using, oh, hi, Laura. Choosing to make my envelope using a piece of Pool Party cardstock. So I just pop that die. Oh, down so it stays on the paper. There we go. And then we roll that through our machine. So what's really nice about these dies is that they all are small enough that you can use the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss, as long as your paper size is small enough, of course. So there we go. We have that. So when this one cuts, it cuts and embosses. So now you can see we've got all those little lines there. And then I can just fold those. And I'm going to stick this together right now. Oh, good morning, Lala. I'm going to fold those in. I'm going to put a little bit of Seal Plus. I do want a strong adhesive on the one flap. And close that up. And that keeps our little envelope all sealed. And then right away, I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of my heart as well. And I'm going to pop my heart into my envelope. So there we go. We have our little embellishment all ready to go to put onto the front of our card. Oh, move that out of the light. It's pretty hard to see that. It's pretty bright in here. I know, the little envelopes and hearts are so sweet. Now I am going to do one more die cut before we move on. What I have here is I just actually have a scrap of paper. Let's see if I can hold that so you guys can see it. I have a scrap of paper on my desk that I had embossed with our new gingham folder. And I ended up not using it on a different card. So I'm going to grab one of our layering circles. So these guys are awesome. They've got the scallops and everything. So I'm going to grab, I guess it would be 1, 2, 3, the fourth largest circle. And I am going to die cut a circle that has this gingham pattern on it. So, whoops, bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine again. This is the mini. So easy to just grab it off the side of the desk and go. All right. So now we have that little gingham embossed heart. So I never, circle. Wow, don't know my shapes today. I never get rid of scraps. I have a little bin that sits on the side of my desk where I put all my scraps. If I've embossed something and it didn't work out or whatever, I just save all of those because you never know when you're going to need that perfect little embellishment. And you don't always want to take the time to go, emboss it and everything to just to do the scallop circles come with the plain circles. Yes. So this is called the layering circles, and you get the scallops and the circles. They're a little bit interesting. They actually work so that the scallop goes inside the circle. However, if you go down one side, so it just means there's no scallop really for the largest circle. Oh, actually, maybe there is. It's an extremely tiny scallop, though, like extremely, extremely tiny. So then the next one down is a bit of a bigger scallop when you do that one. So it's either a very, very small scallop or a slightly larger scallop. So I tend to actually use them separate, not together. But yeah, they're super sweet, Lila. Love them. All right, so now my little piece here, I am going to use some seal on the back of this as well. You could use liquid glue or whatever adhesive you'd like. And I'm going to put this on, but I'm going to be very careful when I'm doing this, that my scallops on here, or sorry, like the stripes on here in the gingham pattern are going horizontal, and that my words are also going to like be straight on those lines. All right, so got that little piece put together. Okay, so now the next step in our card is to bring in our card base. And I'm keeping this, I'm actually doing a color challenge with this card. It's a, I think it's Global Design Projects color challenge, and it's to use Polished Pink, Pale Papaya, and Pool Party together. Wow, I just realized as I said that, all that alliteration, my goodness. Um, so I've got a white card base with a white card layer, and you might be like, well, why are you putting a white card layer onto a white card? That's silly. But it's because I don't like ribbons being shown like on the inside of my card. It really drives me crazy. And I wanted a pale papaya ribbon on here. Oh, and I did this the last time too. Before I put that ribbon on, I'm going to stamp my sentiment. I keep trying to put my ribbons on too early, and then it makes it really hard to stamp a sentiment. All right, so my sentiment says, happy to have you in my life. Such a sweet one. And I stamped that with polished pink. Now that that is on there, I am going to go ahead and tie this ribbon. So I'm leaving just a bit so I can tie a bow. Wrap this around and snip it off so that I can actually work with this and tie. So this is our pale papaya sheer ribbon. Just such a beautiful ribbon. We have that in all of our in colors. So pale papaya, polished pink, soft succulent, evening evergreen, and fresh freesia. Okay, so I am going to tie a double knot first. Oh my goodness, come on. If my hands will cooperate this morning. There we go. So I've got my double knot tied. And then I'm going to get the bow happening. So I like to do double bunny ears and then wrap one of the bunny ears around the other. And when you do that, I just find it lets your bow sit at a really nice angle, and really this sheer ribbon ties the nicest bows. Like it opens up so beautifully for the two sides. Excellent. All right, and then I'm just going to trim those ends so they're on a nice little angle. There. All right. Let's see. Okay. So now I'm going to just push that up a little bit, and we are ready to attach some things to this layer. So we're going to take our scallop circle that we created, and I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of it. I usually just do 3. I'm going to do 1 so it's down kind of where the envelope is, so that that also has some support behind it. Peel those off. And again, when I put this down, I'm going to make sure that my words are horizontal. Oh, I just realized my ribbon's a little crooked though. We'll straighten that out first. All right. And this is going to go right down into the bottom corner. And now we can attach this to our card front, again, using some dimensionals. And just maybe 5. 1 on each corner and 1 in the middle. There we go. And pop that on. And then our last kind of touch to this card is just to add some embellishment. And I have the gorgeous iridescent rhinestones here to add. And there's my tool. All right. So, and I've got just my paper piercer here to grab these. Oops, don't run away on me. And I'm just going to pop that up there, and let's use 1 of every size. Why not? We'll bring that one down here. All right, so you can see that those iridescent rhinestones just kind of catch, like it's almost like they have polished pink and pale papaya in them. They're just beautiful. And so I thought they were the perfect embellishment. Oh, and actually at some angles, it even looks like a little bit of pool party in there. So they just catch all the colors on the card and work perfectly with it. So that is my card for you today. It's a really quick, simple, but really nice friend card to send to someone, and uses that really awesome sweet conversations stamp set. I wanted to show you how it can be used to create something that's really not a Valentine's Day card, but a card that you can send to a friend at any time. But for those of you who were hoping to see a Valentine's card, being that I was featuring the Sweet Conversations, I do have one here. I'm not going to go through the process and make it with you guys, but just show you. Actually, I'll bring this up so you can see it a bit better. This is just a lot of designer series paper from the paper that coordinates with this stamp set. We've got the full background, and then I use the dies to cut out hearts from our designer series paper. And then just on a piece of Granny Apple Green, I stamped the Text Me in Versamark and embossed it in white. And then that one's also, this little yellow heart's also out of the designer series paper. And then just a Calypso Coral heart. And again, I used those iridescent rhinestones to go with this one. So it's just a really, really nice set. And yeah, so that's how you can use it to make a very full-on Valentine's Day card, or just like a nice card to give to a friend. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Just switch my view over. It was, yeah, a little bit of a quicker card today, but I do want to, I'm actually going to be creating a lot of those to send out. I just feel like everybody needs a little bit of happy mail this month and leading up to Valentine's Day. So thanks for joining me. I do have a link to my link tree that will send you to all of my social media and upcoming events. And the big one that I have coming up is actually this Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that is my catalog launch. And so I'm going to kind of do a quick tour through the whole catalog, show you some card samples I've created using the product that I have, and just kind of give you the lowdown on celebration and everything. So I hope you guys have a great week. If you're here in BC, try to stay dry, and I will see you on Saturday, I hope. Bye.